We're about to build this actual AI-powered app builder that you see here now. So before we get started, let's have a quick sneak peek. In this video, we're going to attempt to build an AI app builder with AI, and I'm going to try my best to do it in a single prompt. Now, the way we're going to do this, we're going to use Claude to build a Claude-powered app builder. Okay, so we'll be using Claude's AI. First, we'll use the chat interface for building it, and then we use the AI API as the backend for the actual service. So we're going to use Xano for our user database, and Xano will call the Claude API, but we're going to let Claude do the rest. Okay, so Claude's going to choose how we build this. It's going to build the front end. It's going to connect the APIs, etc., etc. So if you're not familiar with Xano, it's a no-code app builder and, well, a no-code backend, I should say. And here I've already built a workspace, and we've got a database with users. Okay, simple as that: name, email, password. We just want to make sure the users are able to log in, because we only want logged in users to be using it. Now, if we look at our API, we've got our login and sign up endpoints. We can get our user, edit our user, and also this empty right now endpoint, which is generate HTML from prompt. I should probably just start filling that in now. There, we want an input of prompt, and it's going to output, we're just going to call it code. Okay, so it's going to output some code, and we'll fill that in later, but let's see how far we get. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start a chat. Build me an AI powered web app builder. Here are the key details. User can sign up, log in, and sign out. And then the main screen has two panes: the code editor on the left and the previewer on the right. Maybe I will make some bullet points here. Edits to the code editor reflect in the previewer. I wonder, there we go, couple bullet points. Okay, so edits to the code editor reflect in the previewer. At the top of the screen is an input box where users can prompt how they would like the app to be built. It calls our API endpoint, which is called generate HTML from prompt. So I tried to make that descriptive as possible, because it will be HTML, but hopefully Claude knows that, of course, it can be JavaScript, etc. Maybe it even wants to use a framework, I don't know. We'll find out. This calls our API endpoint, generate HTML from prompt, and the output of this is filled into the code editor. in this way, users prompt what kind of website they would like, and using this endpoint, the code is returned and their website idea is previewed. Okay, so hopefully that's introductory enough for the AI to understand. Now, we're going to be ambitious here and try and do it all in a one-shot prompt. It's unlikely, but let's see what happens if we ask. So I'm going to go to my API group on Xano, and we can go to the Swagger documentation here. And what I'm going to do is to copy my API spec. All right, and paste that whole thing into Claude. Here is the Swagger API spec you need to follow. Okay. I'm going to paste that in. There we go. Attached is the Swagger API spec you need to follow. Let's also say we want some styling, so this isn't really ugly. Please build me a beautiful, stylish, okay. And maybe we could say using Tailwind. Yes, that's okay. In terms of like JavaScript framework or library, I'm going to leave this up to Claude. Let's see how it goes. All right, so it's decided to make a React component. This isn't what I want, actually. Build as a single HTML page. Do not use React, and this will not be using a server. Okay, so it's going to use vanilla JavaScript and Tailwind. Now, while that's generating, we're going to use this HTML previewer, which in essence is very similar to what we're trying to build. We're trying to build something a bit like this, except with AI prompting. So let's see how it turns out. But we're going to paste what Claude returns into here and see a preview there. All right, so it includes user auth, prompt input, code editor, using Ace editor, live preview, responsive design with Tailwind. All right, so there is an error there, but what you find is the Claude previewer doesn't always work well. So if we actually copy the code here and test it elsewhere, often it'll work better. All right, so we put it into the online viewer. And again, this can have a similar issue when it's in this mode, but previewing on a full page like this works better. So it's given us a login screen, that's great, but we want to sign up. So we're going to say I'm called Maven Test, test at maven.com. And a password. So let's sign up. Fingers crossed. Okay, we're in and it's remembered the name. Now, let's check on Xano that actually came in on our endpoint. So let's go to sign up here and check our request history. Okay, that was yesterday, so it might take a moment to come through. All right, for a moment I thought it was faking it, but here we go. That's come through, and Xano returns an auth token. So the AI already has built a sign up, and let's try the login now. All right, so that appears to have worked well, and it's also given us here the prompt area, but we've not actually API doesn't return anything yet. So what we might actually do is I want to go back with a new chart and give me a simple landing page using Tailwind. All right, so we're just going to use this as our demo. It's using React. Okay, give me a simple HTML and Tailwind landing page, no framework. All right, so if we copy this code now and we go to this, go to the app that we've built, it's important to test our code editor. All right, and that's looking really good. Okay, so the AI has already built us something similar to what we're using, which is amazing. Now the next question is, what happens here? And what I want to do is go to our endpoint here that Xano should be calling with a prompt. Okay, and I'm just going to return that landing page. Okay, I want to see the format is correct, that it's getting formatted correctly, if indeed it's that endpoint's getting called at all. But no matter what we put in the prompt, that will get returned. That is the idea right now. Okay, so let's go back to our AI web builder, and we're going to say, this can be anything, by the way. I can just write a test and we're still expecting the same result. Okay, so first I'm going to get rid of all of that and just give it a dummy H1. So we just want to preview everything changing. Okay, but when I click generate, let's see what happens. Okay, so the code editor has now become empty. And I want to see if this got called. Okay, so it did get called and the output was sent, obviously. So good on Claude, the request was made. This is really impressive already. And it looks like we almost did everything in one prompt. But at this stage, something has gone wrong and we need to fix that. Unfortunately, we're going to have to go back to Claude. I was really hoping it would all be one prompt. But it looks like we might be doing it in two. What I found, I've done a lot of experimenting before, and if you keep going on and you have a long chat history, it tends sometimes it just goes around in circles. So we want to do this in as few prompts as possible. Okay, so I'm going to be very kind to the AI. This is great, thanks. Everything works well except for the returned response from our generate HTML from prompt did not populate the code editor. Please can you check this and make sure to avoid changes to any existing functionality, as most of this works really well. Okay, fingers crossed. All right, now also I'm not going to change code here. I'm just going to keep that just in case. So original code. By the way, this is a cool Chrome extension called tab retitle, and it is quite helpful if you're someone who uses a lot of tabs. Okay, and what we're going to do is open a new one for our updated code. So visually, it should look the same, but it's stacking one on top of one another, it would seem. Okay, that's really interesting. On this new generated version, it's obviously stored our auth token exactly the same. So we are logged in already. Okay, so let's check code editor with H1. Okay. That works. Now let's try this. Okay. Keep something in there. Build me a landing page, generate. Okay, we've got the same issue here. Maybe I'm just going to ask, let's say it calls the generate HTML endpoint correctly. Can I ask what is the key name that the system we built is expecting in the response? So maybe we can just identify the issue here. I'm going to take a gamble here and just find that function. So we've got async function there. Okay, I'll paste that in and we're just going to try it. Wow. Okay. You don't know how happy I am. You can spend a lot of time going in circles with AI, but we have just built a system that builds AI with AI. There is one last step, of course, and that is on Xano, not to be using this example response, but to actually be generating one. Okay, so for this, we're going to go to the Anthropic console. Here, we're going to start prompting. And what we need to reliably do is make sure it only returns HTML. So you are an assistant that returns HTML pages. You can use things like CSS, JavaScript, Alpine.js, etc. But it must all be contained on one page and not require server. Okay, so a little bit of a guideline, just because we don't want to create React codes and it doesn't work. We really want this to be HTML to make it good for users. Okay, respond only with HTML code. Okay, so give me a simple landing page using tail. Okay, so what we're going to do is give an example here. We want it to kind of train it only to give us HTML. It's a little bit of a waste of tokens, but I think it's not too long for the input. Okay, so that's our builder there, but we want our landing page. Yeah, so yeah, that was our landing page. And we're just going to train it with that, actually. Okay, so that's the response. So now Claude sees that that's how it should respond. So maybe the next user prompt is the actual user prompt. So build me a basic calculator page. See what happens. All right, so unfortunately, it's given us that. Okay. All right, so let's just grab that. Okay, maybe we're gonna be adding that as well. All right, so it's got two examples. Now, I'm not an expert on getting it to respond like this, but you can Google search. There are people who have discussed how to get it to reliably give an HTML output or a code output at least. All right, so let's just try one third time. We're going to say create a simple HTML page with a pricing table. All right, so this is starting to look reliable. Okay, so that's cool. We've got that. Let's just test out what it created in our own app. All right, so it didn't make it pretty, but we didn't ask it to either. All right, but anyway, it seemed to have, in fact, that isn't quite correct in Markdown. Let's do the plain text. That's an issue with the Anthropic console, the way it returns it sometimes. There we go. All right, it gave us a pricing table. So you're starting to see exactly how it's going to function. So now we can click on get code and it's got everything that we've done pretty much. Let's add that to conversation. Okay, get code, copy code. Okay, I'd prefer curl, to be honest. over on Xano, in our function stack, we're going to have an external API request, import curl, we're going to paste that. All right, now you can see, imagine trying to make this all manually, that would be really annoying. Max tokens 4,000, that's good. System is there. Okay, we're going to have to fill in a couple of things there. But down here in headers, I just want to put in our API key. So where it says my API key, I'm going to replace my API key. And I've actually got my Anthropic API key in my environment variable, so I can just put it in like that. All right, so let's just fill in the other parts now. All right, so we want a response, and it will be our response from API 1, okay, which is there. Okay, so let's run that with a prompt. Does need an auth token, so I'll run that here. Prompt, create me a, okay, so we did a pricing table. Create me a list of futures. Okay, so taking a few seconds, that's a good thing. It means it's the AI is probably working rather than returning an error. All right, so result false. We've got a timeout on our API. So we want on our Xano API to have a long timeout. Okay, because it's with a big generation, it can take really some time. So 60 is a really long timeout to choose, but I don't see why not. It could take some time. All right, so we've got a response. Okay, and let's just test it out. Make sure it is a working response, and we'll test it out in our actual builder here. All right, and it's given us a list of features. That's really good. Okay. So what we can do is we just want to be sending that. We don't want to send the whole thing. So we can map the response here. So I'm going to copy that result, and then in our response, API 1 subpath. Okay, we can define it once we copy that response. We want request, response, result. Should be content, text. Okay. And we're going to do it ourselves. All right, so there shouldn't be a key there. Now that's published, it means our app builder should now be working with AI already. So build me a red and yellow landing page for a fast food restaurant. Let's see what happens. Moment of truth. Okay, and remember this could take a little while the AI is working. Wow, okay. That is cool, right? Very, very cool. Okay, I'm so happy about that. So we have succeeded. We have built an AI app builder with AI. Anyone using it can just go and download their code as well. That is so cool. I hope you guys enjoyed that. There's a few things here. For example, Xano. I didn't make this into a Xano class because I didn't want to focus on that too much. We did not need to use it. I chose to because I like to have control of API endpoints. But you could have got the AI to just call directly to Claude. Okay, it would have been a shorter video also. But you could have got it just to call directly to Claude and do it that way. Okay, I wasn't really cheating. I actually made it harder for myself because Xano is a cool technology I like to use. And if I was going to scale this up, start charging users, etc., I'd want to be in control of the data a bit more. I wouldn't necessarily at this stage feel secure letting AI do everything. And you need something server-side for security. So that's the main reason for that. If you wanted to try Xano, I always leave a discount link for it in my description. But I hope you enjoyed that. I think that was mission successful. After I finished recording that video, I did another prompt asking to style it more. And I asked for this kind of dark mode. And in just one prompt, it started to look really good and look like a real product. So I continued with that. I kept prompting and iterating on my progress. I came up with this name, Rushrush. I created the logo, loads of different features, and it kind of just snowballed, and I made it an actual product that people can use. So if anyone does want to go and use it, you can go and try it at www.rushrush.ai, and when you sign up, you'll get a few free tries on it. It's important to note that the core functionality and everything you saw in that preview can be made with what we've made in the main video here. It's not just some kind of clickbait. I've just added styling and the ability for people to sign up now. So yeah, I've really enjoyed making this project, and feel free to comment your thoughts or if you have any questions.